Welcome back. Third conditional sentences. What is third conditional or the type 3 of conditional sentences? The type 3 or third conditional refers to an impossible situation or condition that has happened in the past and its probable results in the past. These sentences are truly hypothetical and unreal because it is now too late for the condition or its result to exist. So there is always condition or there is always some implication of regret with this sort of sentences. So the structure of third conditional is if clause is always having if followed by past perfect, and main clause is having would have plus past participle or third form of the verb. Now let's have an exercise or practice in order to further understand the concept. Number one, if he had talked to me, over here we can see that had talked means this is past participle, or we may call it past perfect. So this particular clause, that is if clause, if he had talked to me, what would have happened? I would have listened to him. So actual situation is this, that a person could not talk to that person. If he had talked to me means there is no talk existed. So there was no talk that existed in the past, and the result of not talking was that I could not listen that person. So if he had talked to me means if this situation had existed which was not which could not take place, I would have listened to him. So actually would have plus past participle or third form is always to be there in the main clause. So he says if he had talked to me, which he didn't, I would have listened to him. So it is now too late. And the result is evident that I did not listen to that person. So that I have mentioned earlier that these sentences are truly hypothetical and unreal because it is now too late for the condition or its result to take place or to exist. Means this is something that could not be met. That is why this could not happen in the past. So if he had talked to me, which he did not, I would have listened to him, which I could not. So number two is if it had rained last weekend. Again you can see that this particular structure is in past perfect like the first one. So if I say that if it had rained last weekend, we would have stayed at home. So it means that, but it didn't rain last weekend. If it had rained last weekend, we would have stayed at home. So we didn't stay at home because last weekend there was no rain. That is why we would have stayed at home. Means we could not stay. So if it had rained last weekend, we would have stayed at home means we did not stay at home because there was no rain last weekend. So we accomplished our that task, whatever the motto was there, what was the objective behind that. So this is again past perfect followed by would have plus past participle or third form. So this is also an unreal situation where there was no rain, due to which we could not or would not stay at home, stayed at home. Now, number 3, if she had saved enough money, if she had saved enough money, had plus saved means this is past perfect. So if she had saved enough money which she could not, she hadn't saved that money. So that is why he says that if she had saved enough money, so there was not enough money with that lady. If she had saved that, she would have bought a new bicycle. She would have bought a new bicycle. So again over here we can see that this would have bought, this is would have followed by past participle, and this in the first two examples we can first three examples rather, including this one, what was there? Past perfect followed by would have followed by past participle. So over here he says that if she had saved enough money which she could not, she would have bought a new bicycle. Now she could not buy that bicycle because there was not enough money saved by that lady. So this is again an unreal situation or a hypothetical situation. Now it's too late for that lady to buy a new bicycle. So this was a probable situation in the past again. Now, if the student had listened to the teacher carefully, over here had listened, it is past perfect. So if clause is if the student had listened, it means that student couldn't listen. That student was unable to listen to the teacher carefully. So he says if the student had listened to the teacher carefully, he would have answered the questions easily. So again there is another hypothetical situation. Would have followed by past participle is there in the main clause. So he says if the student had listened to the teacher carefully, as the student hadn't listened the teacher carefully in the past, so the result is he would have answered the question easily, means he could not answer the questions posed by the teacher in a means comfortable manner. So he would have answered the question easily. So he could not answer those questions easily because he hadn't listened to the teacher carefully. So again it's a situation that is hypothetical and unreal, and it's too late now. The result is quite evident. Now sentence number 5. If she had followed the recipe. So if clause is in past perfect. If she had followed the recipe, so the lady was cooking something, she could not follow the recipe. So the reason was that the cake wouldn't have burned. So the result is there that the cake got burned, wouldn't have burned. So in this case we can see that this is negative, wouldn't have followed by past participle. Now again there is an unreal situation or hypothetical situation in the past. If she had followed the recipe which she could not, the cake wouldn't have burned. Now because of not following the recipe, the cake got burned. So again this was too late for that lady because she could not follow that particular recipe. So over here again we can see that the structure is if clause is having past perfect and the main clause is having would have followed by past participle. Now in this case not is also added because this is a negative statement. So we can assume that the concept has been clarified quite easily, And the third conditional that refers to an impossible condition in the past and its probable result in the past, that is quite evident. Thank you.